Tyler, and I'm here to let you know that Blade Runner 2049 is no perfect movie, but it is really close, let me tell you. So 2049 takes place about 30 years after the events of the original movie, and after a series of events that I won't get into as to what and why, a new Blade Runner, simply known as K, played by Ryan Gosling, begins to look into the disappearance of former Blade Runner Rick Deckard, once again played by Harrison Ford. I was so excited for this movie that I didn't watch any of the trailers. Even when I sat in the theater and the trailer was playing, I just closed my eyes and ignored everything that I was listening to, because I am well aware of how conflicted people were when the first movie was released back in the 80s, and people were very split over whether or not it was a good or bad movie. And I didn't want to walk into this film with any expectations, because based on when I closed my eyes and I listened to the trailer, it sounded like they were marketing it more as this semi-fast-paced, above-average sci-fi action movie. And I can honestly say it's none of those things. In all honesty, just like the original movie, Blade Runner 2049 is a detective movie that just happens to take place in the sci-fi future. And I get the feeling that a lot of people are going to be disappointed by that just because they had certain expectations, and there's all these big actors like Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Jared Leto, some of those actors who aren't even in the movie as much as we would probably build them up to be. So I didn't want to walk in with any expectations whatsoever, and I'm really glad that I did, because this is a beautiful sci-fi film noir movie, and it's directed in the way that I wish modern neo-noir movies were made today. Denis Villeneuve once again created such a gorgeous-looking movie. The film noir style is well realized for the use of shadows and dim lighting that create a really intense and moody atmosphere. Some characters are introduced while they're completely covered in shadow, and their introductions are slowly but surely built up for the camera angles and for the musical score as they step out and reveal themselves. And it looks awesome every single time. There's a lot of long-distance shots that portray the atmosphere as being massive in scope. There's many shots where characters are staged in front of windows to illustrate how isolated they feel from the rest of the world. And the set design for the majority of the movie is entirely practical and built on location. And even when it's a CGI effect that you're looking at, it's so seamless that you can't believe it's CG, and you would swear that it was completely 100% authentic. And the movie does a fantastic job at answering old questions from the original movie while still raising new questions for us to interpret for ourselves. Without giving anything away, we are given insight as to how replicants are created and to what extent their anatomy may resemble a human, but the movie also has a lot to say on where their memories come from, whether or not these newer models can live longer lifespans than before, or whether or not they can experience certain pleasures that only a human might be able to. And there's even some subtle commentary on subjects that are purely human but are portrayed by the replicants, such as whether or not women may be physically or emotionally stronger than men, but in society men may still be more privileged. And these themes are portrayed in a very insightful and original and fresh way. Ryan Gosling gives one of his best performances as one of the most intriguing characters he's ever played. As Kay, he is very aware of his existence, but once he begins to uncover certain facts, he experiences a wide range of emotions that he doesn't often feel. And just for his facial expressions and body language, we can already understand what he's feeling during each scenario and why. When he uncovers certain clues that relate to other people that he knows, or discovers things that he had no idea even existed, we can instantly feel his shock, his anger, his curiosity, and just how profound he feels in the moment. And even though Harrison Ford isn't in the movie as much as the marketing has made him out to be, he's in it for as long as he needs to be, and this is probably one of his most restrained performances. Some of his best scenes involve him being asked a series of questions about events that take place in between the two movies. And he often says little to nothing, but just like Gosling, we can see in his eyes that he's hiding something, and we can imagine for ourselves what he may be hiding. And the cool thing is, you don't even have to have seen the original to understand him as a character. We're given clues that fill us in without spoon-feeding us. His introduction is built up beautifully, just like all the other characters. And his absence throughout the majority of the movie actually serves a purpose to his character arc. I don't think a lot of reviews are going to mention her performance specifically, But I really enjoyed Ana de Armas as Kay's love interest. She had good chemistry with Ryan Gosling, and even though her character had needs and desires that she wanted fulfilled, she'd be more than willing to make sacrifices for Kay purely out of love. And I don't want to give away why specifically, because if I told you anything else about her, it would pretty much spoil what was so impactful about her character arc and her relationship with Kay. My only main issue with the movie is that for every scene that is told visually, for the camera angles, the atmosphere, the music, and the actor's body language, there are lines of dialogue that sometimes come completely out of nowhere and are kind of just meant to explain certain emotions and what characters are feeling. And I feel like these lines were just added in by the studios in case the audience members didn't know what was going on. But I don't think that concept is going to work because there already are so many scenes that are told visually and are left ambiguous that some audience members are just going to be confused either way, so adding these lines in doesn't really change anything at all. Blade Runner 2049 does what a sequel is supposed to do. Expand its scale and universe, introduce new characters who are just as, if not more interesting than the original characters, and answer old questions while still raising new ones. And thanks to the behind-the-scenes camera work of Denis Villeneuve, Roger Deakins, and many other people, along with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford in front of the camera, this movie is fantastic. I had a really good time with this one. And I'm going to give Blade Runner 2049 a 4.5 out of 5. Guys, thanks as always for watching, and what did you think of Blade Runner 2049? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you more in between? Honestly, I can understand either one. Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like, subscribe, check out my other reviews at noperfectmovie.com. And once again, thank you all very much for watching. Take care.